All right. Well, do you ever get those moments in life where you have an epiphany and you act on it and it just works out so sweet? So this is one of those epiphanies. So this is Unrooted RC's version of an Element Gatekeeper. The issue with the Element Gatekeeper is not the quality of the kit, it's not the quality of the plastics, it's not the way it looks, it's not the cage, it's not the chassis, it's the cage and the chassis together. What happens with an RC when you just stick a cage on top of a standard C-channel chassis is that you end up with a very tall RC. And it's difficult to lower it. So what I've done is I've stuck a Gspeed raw steel chassis that I've painted up in there to make it into a belly dragger, and I just wanted to run through some of the features and some of the things that I've just done to make it a little bit better. The reason why I've kept it in the Gatekeeper configuration, i.e. the trailing arm rear end, is because it gives me a 13 and a bit inch wheelbase. So you gain an inch basically on your wheelbase, which is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to bob the chassis, which I've done, and I wanted to extend the wheelbase. I also wanted to lower the truck, and of course you can do that when you start putting it on a belly dragger, essentially a belly dragger chassis. It gives you a lot of different shock mounting locations. What I've done in the back is I've actually mounted the shocks. I've taken them off the trailing arms and I've mounted them on the rear axle tubes, which gives me even more flex. There is no sway bar in the back anymore. I don't need it. The geometry on the front wasn't quite right. I had originally needed to put in some upper links from an XCX 10-2, which pushed my front axle, tilted it forward like this and just put it in the wrong position fore and aft. I left it because I sent it over to my brother-in-law's to get something printed, which I'll come on to in a second. It didn't happen, so I got it back because he was busy, and I ummed and ahed about this, and then I realized that I had bought the entire Element RC high clearance links. So I basically put on the links that you would put, the high clearance links that you would put on a Element RC Enduro. I put them on this, which I'm really pleased with. I also managed to adapt the original Element, I guess belly protection that I got from the guy on eBay, the Artful Dodger, or whatever his name is. I really wanted to use this again, so I needed to adapt it to fit this new chassis and the Gspeed transmission plate. I wanted to do that because the transmission plate is beautiful, it's Delrin, it'll slide, but the things that won't slide are the Element RC side panels underneath here. They're really bumpy, they've got ridges all over them, and they just catch on everything. So this has got a nice lip at the front and it works beautifully. When I chopped this and then attached it, I actually have attached it so from the side, I don't really like that belly dragger look. I think it looks a bit odd. So from the side it looks like the chassis is actually sitting flat, but it's not. It is sat like a belly dragger, ready to drag its belly, but I didn't want it to look like that. I'm running Punk Custom 1.9 bead locks, and I've got them the reverse way. Why? Because the other thing about a Gatekeeper is that its track was very, very narrow, and now I feel I have a more realistic track width. I'm happy with this. It works well. I'm just noticing that I need to do a little bit on this. This shock is a little bit skew, so we need to change that. I need to put a spacer in that, or take a spacer out at the top, or put a spacer in the bottom. Anyway, so I did that. All of the panels are from Artful Dodger on eBay. The lighting system is from Artful Dodger. I got two spots two light bars in the front and one in the rear. They're really, really cool, although they did come with one LED in each front light bar not working, which was annoying, to be honest. He did offer for me to send it back to him, but he's in Poland. Oh, you know, it works, so I just run with it. I also went with his servo on axle mount, which is really, really beefy plate, steel plate that sandwiches it onto the axle. It's super solid. It's not going to go anywhere. This is a funny link that I found. I don't even know where it's from. It seems to work well. I got SSD brass on front and rear axles, so the port of the steering car, the caster ends, C hubs, whatever. My mind is not working. Steering arms, they are all brass. The diff covers are brass fore and aft, so that's pretty cool. That gives me a lot of weight low down. The steel element links are heavier than the rear plastic trailing arms, which also brings some weight forward. I'm running 1000 mAh 3S battery, but I can fit far bigger batteries if I want to trail in the original battery tray, which I have fitted. Fitting the chassis, the Gspeed chassis, is not for the faint-hearted. I know I did a piece on this, but these raw steel chassis do not want to bend, and I needed to actually really work hard to brace it enough so it didn't bend. It was bending the Delrin transmission plate like a blinking, I don't know, like a kebab, we would say in this country, but you guys would in the US would say a taco. So I really needed to use a lot of this aluminium and brass bracing. I then actually genuinely put it in the oven for a few hours at 50-60 degrees, just to try and relax the metal a little bit, and then I left it on a shelf with all of these bars in place and the transmission plate, nothing else on, for about a week for it to settle and stop straining itself, which it has done. It's relaxed now. You can just see that the transmission plate is flat, and these were actually bending, these brass links, so they've stopped bending, which is great. So yeah, we have got my version of a Element Gatekeeper with, I hope, most of the structural issues fixed. We still need to do some tuning, but for now I'm super pleased. I'm running Proline original foams with these that came with these Crawler TA. What are they called? Oh, I don't know. I can't see. They're standard Proline foams in there, or are they dual stage? Yeah, they are. Sorry, dual stage in the front, Proline dual stage, and a Proline single stage in the rear. So I'm going to run it like that for the time being. Anyway, that was a really long technical Hobbywing Fusion in there. And for a servo, I'm using my tried and tested Ludicrous Lipos servo off eBay. I think they are 31 kg, but tons of torque, and that's plenty for this little rig. So I'm super pleased with the way it's turned out. I'm going to get it on the rocks. I'm going to bash the living daylights out of it and let you watch. Peace.